What's going on, guys? Kendall here for Renos for Pros and Joes, helping you simplify the renovation and remodeling process. On this channel we do renovation tip and strategy videos as well as tool and gear reviews like this one. Today we're going to be reviewing the Timberland Pit Boss. Coming up. What's going on, guys? Kendall here for Renos for Pros and Joes. I had to come back and shoot a follow-up to the original video. So this is the Timberland Pro Pit Boss. This is what the boot looks like here. It is waterproof, it is steel toe. So if you look at the boot from head on, it looks like a steel toe boot. It's got the kind of bubbled out toe box here, and the shoe has got a pretty substantial weight to it. So not only does it look like a steel toe, but when you pick it up, it's going to feel like a steel toe also. So if you're comparing this to a composite toe boot, this is going to be substantially heavier. The boot has a lot of cushioning here around the ankle portion of the boot, as well as here on the tongue. Pretty substantial laces here, and they stay laced pretty well when you cinch them down real tight. You've also got the hooks here on the side that you can use to get additional tension on the boots. The sole here is a non-marking black sole. Also says that it's oil resistant. Pretty good on moderately slippery surfaces like concrete. Never had any issues with that. Also, this sole is pretty robust as it pertains to stepping on sharp objects like glass and tacks and nails and things like this. This boot is going to do a very good job as far as preventing sharp objects from penetrating the sole of the boot. You will get very good warning on that prior to it coming through and actually touching your foot, because that's actually what you're going to want 9 times out of 10. Typically when you step on something that's sharp, it penetrates strict through the sole of the shoe, and before you can feel anything, the nail is already, well into your foot or whatever the sharp object is. This sole is going to give resistance when you step on it, so that you can feel that something is pushing, trying to break through the rubber on the sole of this boot. So that is another great plus for this shoe. As I stated before, the only shortcoming that I know of on this boot is that eventually over time the sole will separate from the midsole. And I'm going to try to zoom in here so you can see this here, but this is the sole here and this is the midsole. So this is glued, this bottom portion here is glued to the midsole. And that's true all the way around. In the front of the boot, the midsole, difficult to see here, but the midsole basically goes away, and this is all rubber sole from the sole. So the sole gets thicker. So we're going along here, it's very thin, then it gets thick. So this is actually all sole butting up to the bottom of the boot right here where you see the stitches on top of it. So just wanted to share those features with you. I like these shoes because of the way that they look. They look like an old school traditional steel toe boot, maybe something like Popeye and Bluto would have worn on the cartoon. And as I said, they're relatively comfortable after I put shoe inserts in them. The technology may have developed since then. I can't really speak to that because I have not started wearing these boots yet, but I will be immediately putting them into action, and I will certainly shoot a follow-up to let you guys know how these new ones compare to the ones that I had previously, which are these. And you can see it's the same shoe. I'm trying to zoom in here so you can see what this thing looks like here. This is the sole that I was telling you that would come off eventually. It has come off a long time ago. And as you can see, it's attached much better here in the front, where the rubber sole becomes thicker and is, I guess, directly attached to the actual bottom portion of the housing on the boot. I'm not sure what that part is called. Here you can see the midsole has failed and is coming apart a great deal. But as I said, I've worn these well past the time when they should have been tossed out. I just kind of had a difficulty getting rid of them simply because they're steel toe boots, number one, which means that they're very durable and rugged. Your whole grain leather, the whole boot is whole grain leather. And they're also waterproof. So there's not much you can't do in these boots. I never, to my recollection, I don't think I ever had an issue with them picking on water or leaking when I was using them outdoors. which is another plus. So frequently when I get into scenarios where I'm going to be doing something really nasty, these are obviously would be the first thing that I would pick up to try to put on, because they're already super dogged out and there's nothing that I'm going to be able to do to them that's going to cause them to look or function any worse than they already do. So that's what we got here. This is the right shoe. This sole actually came off second. So the first one, this is the right shoe. That was the left shoe, I'm sorry. This is the right shoe. This is the one that originally came apart. And as you can see, I used some heavy duty tape here to try and hold the rubber up on the shoe. It worked moderately well. But as I said, guys, I've never worn these boots strictly as an everyday wear, just simply because they are steel toe boots and they're heavy shoes. But when I do wear them, I really beat on them. So over the years, it's obviously taken its toll on the shoe. I did opt to go ahead and go with these because of the price point. I went ahead and bought them again. There were some interesting and really nice looking boots that Timberland had that did catch my eye, but when I did a comparison of price of what it would cost me to get into another pair of these boots versus some of the newer boots they have out with newer technology and lighter materials, the numbers just really didn't make sense this time around. So went ahead and got a second pair of these bad boys, and as I said, we're gonna go ahead and put them to use immediately, and I'll let you guys know how they perform. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for bearing with me on this one, because I, really was laying in bed last night and kind of reflecting over the topics and the things that were covered on this review video, and that's when it kind of hit me that I had not shown you guys all the fine details and craftsmanship of what this boot actually looks like. I did shoot some B-roll that showed you guys what the shoe looks like on foot. It does have an insert inside that comes out, kind of just a basic insert in there, and inside the shoe there's hard plastic below this. This is probably what's given the shoe a lot of its rigidity, like I talked about yesterday, because you can definitely do a lot of heavy shovel work with this thing, and you don't have the fatigue there in your arch like you would in a thinner or less durable or sturdy boot. So just another thing to keep in mind, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If there's other videos that you want to see me do, other products and things that you would like to see me review, leave that in the comment section as well. Definitely take a look down there in the description for the video to see where you can pick up a pair of these boots for yourself if you're interested in that. That's it, guys. So see you on the next one. Peace.